Hi, this is Dennis Spaeth, publisher of Cutting Tool Engineering. I'm here at the ChampionNow and Iverson and Company booth at IMTS 2022 at the Student Summit. And I'm talking with Terry, the president and CEO of Iverson and Company, and who started ChampionNow. And it's a great cause, and I'm here to get an update on what's been going on over the past few months. He's been up to a lot, including a book, but he's got some tabletop machines. So what I want to do is find out first how it's going at the summit. What sort of experience are you having so far during the show so far?
Well, actually, I've talked to a lot of people, and basically what they've said is that they had fairly low expectations this year because of coming out of the pandemic, and schools have had issues with not having enough bus drivers and whatnot. But in actuality, the turnout has been above expectations. So AMT has done a really good job at getting people, young people, to attend. And generally speaking, this aisle is usually this last few days has been full with students. So we're excited about that because we're trying to help young people in our country and technical programs in our country succeed, and we're putting all sorts of products out there to help do that.
You're trying to get the younger generation and their parents more familiar with what it means to have a manufacturing career.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways you're doing that here at the booth is with a couple of tabletop machines.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell us how that's going with the students and what you're showing exactly?
Sure. What I have in my hand is we have a tabletop CNC lathe and a tabletop CNC mill. We call them tabletop champ, alluding to ChampionNow, of course. So what we have here is the people from Schmidt were nice enough to consign a laser for us. So we're laser engraving ChampionNow IMTS 2022. And what this is the CNC mill is actually cutting a case out of wood. So we have milled out the impression for 2 pens, and then we have the top. And this actually becomes a pen holder and a business card holder. So it's very functional. It's a great little giveaway, so to speak. And then on the tabletop champ lathe, we're turning out of wood again, contouring and grooving 2 pieces of the pen, and then of course you can buy an insert to put everything together. And it's a very, very functional, unique gift.
Great. And what has been the reaction from students when they see this?
Well, everybody wants one, I'll tell you that. And we've not been able to build up an inventory, which we'd like to. And we'd also like to do more personalization. Edge Factor's a close friend, Jeremy, so I was able to do an Edge Factor one. Okay. And the people at Oasis, we had dinner with them the other night. Okay. So we were able to personalize one of those.
That's great. So one of the other big projects you've been working on for a while is a new book that kind of takes it to the next level. You want to talk about how it's set up and your goal for that, for the 2 audiences.
Well, in 2018 at IMTS, we introduced my first book, which was Finding America's Greatest Champion. And I have to go into the subtitle because I think those are important as well. That was Building Prosperity Through Manufacturing, Mentoring, and the Awesome Responsibility of Parenting. And in that book, we address 4 different audiences: industry, education, parents, and students. And our goal long-term is that we need to pare down and be very laser focused on individual audiences. So in next month, I'll be publishing a new book called Inspiring Champions in Manufacturing. And the subtitle to that book will be Discover the Path to a Debt-Free Career. And so by having 2 audiences, what I've managed to do with this particular book is we have 2 covers instead of a back cover, 2 front covers, and they're 180 degrees to each other. So the intention is the student would read from of course, the outside, from the front in halfway, and then there's questions for the student to ask the parent. You flip, then he or she can flip it over and give it to mom or dad, And then you have the front, once again, the second front cover, or the first front cover, and it's from addressing the parent, and the parent reads in halfway, and then there's questions from the parent to the student. And the questions are around career choice, career path, and the type of questions that, mom, dad, is it okay if I don't go to a four-year university? And probably a lot of times the answer is no. So what the book covers is a lot of data and a lot of facts about why manufacturing careers are perfect for our youth, especially those that like to work with their hands and their mind, especially those that maybe don't learn conventionally, and learning concepts the way they're taught in universities today and have been for a long time may not be best for them. And so that's coming out. That'll be published probably in October.
So, who's supposed to read it first? The student or the parent, do you think?
Well,
or who should?
That's an interesting question. I don't think many students will go out and rush out and buy the book, so let's say that. I think parents, hopefully, should and will rush out and buy the book. So I think the parents ultimately will be the first ones to buy it and read it, and then hand it to the student. However, through programs, through appearances, speaking appearances, through schools, what my hope is, through Manufacturing Day, possibly events, is the book will get into the student's hands, and after that student has learned, hey, this might be a good match for me, it's the perfect opportunity for the student to read it and then hand it to mom or dad and say, look, this is what I've been trying to tell you. Yeah. And so it's really meant for enlightenment to parents and education for parents on alternate career paths. Some parents are trying to figure out, how am I going to send my child to college? I can't afford it. And I've had moms come up to me in the particular cases I can cite in tears, because when I describe what's possible and what success looks like in manufacturing, I've had moms come up to me literally in tears and said, I thought all hope was lost for my son or daughter. And so on the other side, on the flip side, some young people, I had a young lady come up to me years ago and say, Mr. Iverson, I want to be a welder, and my parents just don't understand. And there's a good example where that young person could get this book in her or his hands and say, Mom, Dad, this is what I'm talking about. And there has to be conversation, and in this country and probably around the world, there's not enough conversation, parent to child, early in the game, about what are they passionate about and where do their talents and skills lie early in life.
Well, and for a long time in this country, the common talking points or accepted view of manufacturing was that there's no future in manufacturing.
Correct.
And it's not a great career path. But I mean, maybe that was true 50 years ago, maybe, but not anymore. And it's not what people think when they start reading about it, and especially, I think, would you agree, when they start visiting some of these job sites?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we were early in, early adopters, and part of the movement that was pushing there needs to be a manufacturing day. That was in 2012. Jeremy from Edge Factor and myself, SME, and others, many others. FMA for sure. It was FMA that actually did it. And now NAM controls Manufacturing Day. So Manufacturing Day's probably on its 7th or 8th year, somewhere in there. And my books, both the first and the second, are meant to be a resource for Manufacturing Day as one of many opportunities to get the message out. But yeah, manufacturing, we have young people playing video games, we have young people doing Lego robotics, and there's just such a natural with the technology that's in manufacturing now for them to literally slide into manufacturing careers and be passionate about it, enjoy it, and be extremely excited about it. But most importantly, it's a sustainable career path that they can own a home, start a family, be successful, provide well for their children and themselves, and that message needs to get out. And students going into student debt, there's no reason for that. If let me correct myself, there's no reason for that if they want to work with their hands and their mind, and they like taking things apart, putting things together. You know,
Right.
You've seen many children do that, and so consequently, we need to get that word out.
Right. It's an option. Manufacturing careers is an option that just isn't brought up early enough in the game. It wasn't for me when I was going through school, and in fact, you're pushed away from it. But that's beginning to change, but it's only at the very beginning stage, and the word is still getting out. So that's one way you're helping to get that word out. I wanted to ask you one other thing, that you're trying to help with a scholarship to get people into some of the programs that would train them for a manufacturing career.
Yeah, my entry, I was very, very privileged in that, one, I was good in math and science, and two, my family's been in manufacturing. In 3 years, it'll be 100 years, an entire century that my family's been in manufacturing, starting with my grandfather. And so I had the opportunity, just by birthright, so to speak, to learn about going into manufacturing. And so my father offered me a chance, my uncle offered me a chance to enter the industry, and I almost said no. If it wasn't for my wife, saying, "Hey, give it a shot," maybe I would have passed and probably regretted it. But long story short, my father was in the industry for almost 50 years. This is my 42nd year, and so he passed a little over a year ago. And I thought, you know what better way to help young people and honor his name and everything he's done for me and others in the industry, every employee that's ever worked for us and so forth, every customer that he helped get into manufacturing and buy machines, then have a scholarship. And so we instituted a scholarship, raised a little bit of money for that, and during the course of the next several months, we'll be giving away 5 $1,000 scholarships for manufacturing education. It doesn't go right to the student, it goes to the institution, whether it be a community college or a technical college or what have you. Might be certification based, who knows. But the $1,000 will go to further or kickstart their manufacturing education.
Excellent. That's excellent. Anything else that we should know about your booth, or any other plans that are going on?
I think that we've covered a lot. We've covered the book. We've covered the tabletops. We've covered the fact that we have the scholarship, and I think we've started some videos in your magazine in January. You were gracious enough to do an article about the project you and I've worked on.
Get your grandkids in the cover back here.
We've got our two of our 7 grandchildren that all of them are adorable, but I'm definitely a little biased. Yeah, I'm a little biased. They get their looks from their grandmother and their parents, but that being said, I commend you, Dennis, because I've been in this industry for 42 years, and I cannot think of a media-based or journal or magazine that was bold enough to put 2 young people on the cover of a metalworking magazine. And so I give you first a lot of thanks for working on the CNC Rocks video program, but secondly, being bold enough to do something to get people to think. And doing the videos has been great, doing this video, but doing that type of an article, we need more institutions and more media and just everybody in general, the public, to really get on board and let's ride this train to success for young people.
One last thing, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and learn more, or to help out, or to get your book, where would they go, or how would they go about getting in touch?
Well, the easiest place to reach us is to go to our website, which is ChampionNow.org, and there's two N's, one at the end of Champion and one at the beginning of Now. And you can email me at tiverson@iversonandco.com. Our company website is iversonandco.com. And reach out to us. We need volunteers. My long-term vision is to have a ChampionNow volunteer in every state, and have events and momentum to all the topics that we've talked about. And but reach out to us.
Excellent, and I appreciate you taking time. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.